In today's real estate market, buyers shouldn't shop for a home with the expectation that they're going to negotiate a lower sales price. I don't know, $100,000 under asking? No, you're right, $150,000 under asking. That'll get me the house. I'm Joy Rockenstein, and this is Rockin' Real Estate LA, the show helping first-time home buyers get results that rock. In a typical housing market, buyers try to determine how much less than the asking price they can offer and still get the home. Just trying to come up with a number. From there, the buyer and the seller typically negotiate on a revised price somewhere in the middle. Somewhere. Things are obviously different today. According to the National Association of Realtors, a home today is receiving at least 3 to 4 offers and is selling in just 17 days or less. Now, there's a fluctuation of whatever neighborhood you're in or city that you're in, but this is a national average. Here in Los Angeles, it does fluctuate a lot. But the good news is that the tide has slightly shifted to where there's not as many offers on the houses. The bidding wars have slowed down a bit, but it's still a seller's market. Thanks a lot for the bad news. But the good news is that the playing field is starting to even out a little bit. Buyers still have an advantage with the insanely historic low interest rates. It's still a great time to sell your house. But just keep in mind what you need to do if you're a buyer, because you are still competing with a lot of other buyers in the buyer pool. No running in this pool. And so you need to be smart about how to get your offer accepted, and that starts with the asking price. Homes selling quickly and receiving multiple offers highlights how competitive the housing market is in Los Angeles right now. This is due in part to the low supply of homes that are for sale. Low supply and high demand mean homes often sell for more than the asking price. In some cases, they sell for a lot more. Well, which one is it? Selma Hepp, Deputy Chief Economist at CoreLogic, explains how the stats can impact buyers. The imbalance between robust demand and dismal availability of for sale homes has led to a continual bidding over asking prices, which reach record levels in recent months. Now, almost 6 in 10 homes listed are selling over the asking price. So it's time to be real. Finally, you may need to rethink how you look at a home's asking price. Now, what does that mean for you? If you found your dream home, you may need to be extremely realistic with yourself about today's housing market and how that impacts the offer that you're going to make on that dream house. Offering below or even just at the asking price may not cut it. In today's market, the highest bidder often wins the home, much like an auction, if anybody does auctions anymore.
$500,000!
$1 million.
$2 million.
You don't have it. $3 million.
I'll borrow it from you. $4 million.
But you gotta be realistic about that. The negotiating really starts at list price. Now, like I just said, the asking price is often the ground floor of the negotiation rather than the ceiling. Well, which one is it? Floor, ceiling, floor to ceiling. If you really love a home, just keep in mind it may ultimately sell for more than what the sellers are asking. That's important to keep in mind as you work with an agent to help craft your offer. What should we do to craft? Knitting? Not those crafts. But keep in mind there are other things that you might be able to do as well to kind of work in your favor and help benefit you as the buyer. One of the things is offering the list price, but then you might be able to ask for some money back.
I'm a big fan of money. I like it. I use it.
For closing costs in escrow. I actually just had a client successfully get an offer accepted by doing just that. We offered the list price and then asked for $10,000 back in closing costs. And it worked. But it's because the seller saw that number up front, the list price offer, and that helps them feel some sort of satisfaction in today's market. The other thing to consider too is understanding that an appraisal gap can happen. Because of today's home price appreciation and the auction-like atmosphere in the selling process, appraisal gaps, which is the gap between the price of the contract and the appraisal of the house, are more frequent. Now here in Los Angeles, yes, there have been appraisal gaps. Fortunately now, I've seen more houses are appraising at the price that's on the contract, but you never know. There's always a chance that there could be that appraisal gap and then there's going to have to be another discussion of how badly do you want the house, and do you have enough cash to cover that cost. According to data from CoreLogic, beginning in January 2020, nationally, 7% of purchase transactions had a contract price above the appraisal. But by May 2021, the frequency had increased to 19% of purchase transactions. Keep in mind though, that's the national average that CoreLogic is talking about. Here in Los Angeles, things are a little bit different. Like I said, houses are typically appraising, but there is that possibility that there might be an appraisal gap. What do you do if there is an appraisal gap? When this happens, the lender won't loan you more money than the home's appraised value. Come on, give me like a couple bucks more, like $5 or so. Is that good? And the seller may ask you to make up the difference out of your pocket. Buyers in today's market need to be prepared for this possibility. Know your budget, know what you can afford, what you can't afford, and work with a trusted real estate agent like myself who can offer expert advice along the way. Bidding wars in today's auction-like atmosphere means buyers need to rethink how they look at the asking price of a home. Remember, the asking price is really the start of the negotiation. And unfortunately for buyers, it just goes up. We're not negotiating down. Even if the inspection comes back and you want to ask for some credits back then, you can try to do that. But if there's multiple offers, you got to keep that in mind. So sellers want the cleanest offer possible and the most money possible. If you have questions about this, why don't you drop me a comment below and let me know how I can help craft your offer and get your dream home. I'm Joey Rockenstein. This is Rockin' Real Estate LA. Results that rock.